Well, joining us now to get tips on how to start up your company or maybe to help your daughter or son to start up a company, Dr. Stacia Pierce, the president of Ultimate Lifestyle Enterprises, joins us now. And good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Angie. It's great to be on today.
So you're basically a woman who came up from your bootstraps, started your own company, and now you're a coach teaching other people how to start companies up.
Yes, I'm helping other women entrepreneurs mainly. I've got like 40% men that came on that wanted to work with me. I don't know why. But yeah, I help people start up their companies. Entrepreneurs get started and move fast, really get going fast. Because a lot of times people feel like when they start their company, it takes so long to get going. So I just cut the time down by giving them steps and strategies.
Well, let's go over those steps and strategies.
Well, one of the first things when you start up your company that you want to do is you want to always have a plan. I call it the purpose plan. What's the purpose of me being here? Why am I starting this company? Because at one point, when things get tough and everything goes haywire, you're going to know, why am I here? Why am I doing this? So I tell them to get a plan and their why. And then the second thing I tell people to do when they start their company is after they get their plan, to start getting some basic things done, like secure your website, get your .com if you need it, go get your business license. That's a big thing if you're going to be an LLC or if you're going to just be sole proprietor in business. And so I tell them to get those basic things. And you know, so many entrepreneurs don't even have their business cards. And so I tell them, hey, just get some cards so people know you're in business. Real basic things. And then the third thing I think that you should do is get some help. Find some mentorship, someone who's already done what you've done. Or, of course, I do coaching. Find your coach somewhere, someone who can help show you the way to shorten the time frame of you getting started. So those are the three top things I tell people to do. Then it gets a little bit more difficult after that.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
But once you were able to launch your company, you brought in your daughter, Ariana, who's now a successful entrepreneur in her own right. So tell us about your business.
Yes, well, my business is Superstar Nail Lacquer, and it was actually one of the first fast-drying, eco-friendly, vegan nail lacquer lines. And what was so great about that is that my mom motivated me to start that business. She was an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. So when I was little, she would, make me do the little lemonade stands or sell a cookie here. Or one time I put on a play and people had to pay me $5. But what that did was it helped me to get in the spirit of entrepreneurship. So that way, when I became of age, 18, 19 years old, I knew what to do and I was familiar with it.
And you were very, very fortunate to have the support of your mother behind you. So what advice did you give your daughter?
Well, I gave her advice. One is to have, like I talked about earlier, to have a purpose for her company. I told her, Ariana, you want to get a storyboard of where you see this future of this company going. Put a big board up and see yourself in your future. Where are you going to be 5 years from now? What is this company going to look like? Who do you want to work with? And so she framed her future, and that really helped her walk right into it. The second thing I told her, because she was so young, when young entrepreneurs start, I think that they have to show stability. And so she had to go into all these meetings and secure all these store contracts, and I wasn't there with her. I didn't walk in those meetings with her. So at 18, she's finishing school at Michigan State, graduating and going to these meetings and flying all over the country by herself, even internationally. And she was really afraid. And I told her, I said, you got to do it afraid. You got to do it anyway. I said, but it's going to be really good for you. And I told her the second thing she had to do was know her worth and know her work. Don't go in there unprepared. Know what you're going to say. Look over your product, study your product, and so that you can make an educated pitch to people if you have to. So.
Now, were there any points when you were afraid and maybe you wanted to give up?
Oh, yes, definitely. When I first started out going to these meetings, I was like, can you please come with me? She's like, no, you're going to have to learn how to do it on your own. And so what I did was, like she said, I prepared day and night for them. So I didn't just go in there and just off the top of my head just say anything. I studied my craft. And one thing that happened is in the beauty industry, people are 3-4 times my age. So they're trying to challenge me, and they're thinking like, oh, this girl, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's only 18, 19 years old. She has no clue about this mature beauty industry. And I had to go in there knowing more than them. Yeah. So I almost educated them on their industry. And then that's what helped them say, okay, this girl really knows what she's talking about. I read, I studied, I meditated, I created a vision board for what I wanted, and every time it worked out. So I definitely had to do those things.
How's your company doing now?
Oh, it's doing great. So a lot of those companies.
What do your sales look like?
They're awesome. They're over the roof. We're in about 100 stores, or over 100 stores for our new passport covers and
That's
nail
impressive.
lacquer. So we're just
What's your
showing
biggest
up
store?
everywhere.
I sound like Shark Tank. What's your biggest store?
What is our biggest store?
I
would
think
say?
the orders you get the most is from Adrienne Bosch.
Yeah, Adrienne Bosch.
She has a
She's
store in
Miami.
In Miami.
And and then Michigan State University.
Oh, yeah.
What happened with that was I was starting my lacquer line, and I said, well, I go to the school. Why don't I create a color for Michigan State? I pitched it to them, and they said, yeah. Why don't we have a student in our store? And that's probably one of our biggest orders.
But what happened was it spread across the country. So
Right.
Michigan State started buying our nail polish, then all the campuses across the country started buying them. So
Yep. So then University of Michigan, Ohio State, all these different stores and colleges started buying the nail polish. But
Well, I have heard that Michigan State has some pretty great entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
I went to that school.
Awesome.
Thanks-
awesome.
Go Green. Thanks so much for coming on the show, and much success to both of you. Thank you.
Thank
thank you so much for having me.